Yeah, so my question to you is like, do you have any tips so I can feel more comfortable when I have to talk to like people, interviewers or media?
Well, number one, I saw you yesterday on doing the Women in Pizza interview on live, and you were fantastic. So I don't really think you need a tip from me. But if I could give you a tip, I would say, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I'm a friendly person, but I'm friendly, but I'm private too. And it was very difficult for me to come forward, you know, because especially being on camera, I mean, not like for me doing the show wise, being on camera, the camera picks up everything. You get insecure, people talk about you, they troll you. But this is what I can say. Remember why you got into it. Remember why you're doing it. Remember who you are. Remember your passion and your purpose. And I'm not trying to get all Oprah with it or anything like that, but I think that that's what calms me down, that I'm really being myself. I'm not being an imposter. I'm not, I really love pizza. I really love the pizza industry. I really want to do well. I really want to be a top pizzola one day. These are things that are genuinely in my core spirit, and I genuinely love people. So luckily, that part I'm good with, because I do like people and I do love how passionate people are, and I do like supporting people with their goals. Like, I've always been an entrepreneur spirit, so I love to see people take a chance on themselves and really step out and put themselves forward. And let me tell you, behind the scenes, I have so much going on that nobody wouldn't even know. Nobody would have a clue what's going on in my world. But I always, my motto is never let them see you sweat. You know what I'm saying? And I always just step forward and do my best and be my authentic self. Nothing sells more than somebody just being themselves. You know what I mean? And I just feel like that's the best advice I can give anyone.
Mm, yeah, yeah,
Like, don't
that's
change.
good.
Like, don't change. Like, if you're the type of person that you don't have a lot to say, one of my, like, not to bring him up, but like Mark Iacono is one of the people that really inspired me in the industry, the one that owns Lucali's. And I got to work under him. And he has the most world-renowned New York City pizza, right? But this guy is
Yeah.
himself. He's himself 24/7. He's himself if Jay-Z is there. He's himself if I'm there. He's himself if his daughter's there. He's himself, himself, himself. And he doesn't let anything change who he really is. Yes, he has his own aspirations, the things he wants, but he doesn't let anything change. And when I saw him at his level just be himself, I said, well, shit, I could be myself, you know?
Yeah, that's really good. I also have a friend that when we were talking about what how the when we first started with Leña, and how we started to hear from people and just saying like how good of a pizza it was. And he was telling me like, oh, like people are gonna want to come to talk to you. And I would say like, I don't think so. Like I'm in a small town, it's a small pizzeria. And he was like, well, when they do, don't when they do, just be yourself, and just ride, just take it, and just ride, just go with the wave, just go with the. So that was a good advice. Like for me, I'm just step by step, slowly just trying to take it all in, and then
If I could
at the
give you
same time.
You took a very brave move to. I'm going to ask you a question, but I just want to say one thing too. Like you opened up your own pizzeria and bagel restaurant, and that takes a lot of courage. I was looking for a restaurant. I went into due diligence 4 times, and it just wasn't in the car for me. But what I want to talk about is that when I first started making pizza right here in this house behind the counter, I never wanted a pizzeria. I never ever wanted a pizzeria. That was never my goal. But as people started to know me, they're like, oh, what are you going to do? You need a pizzeria. You need a pizzeria. You need a pizzeria. You need a pizzeria. And I was like, well, Dad, maybe I need a pizzeria. But every time I would try, it just would never pan out, right? And what I want to say to you is that you should always, you know how you said take your time and you want to just do slowly, please stick to
Mm-hmm.
that. Don't let
Mm-hmm.
anything rush you into being this or being that. Take your time because life
Mm-hmm.
goes by so fast and you'll miss the little nuggets that you'll need to have the aha moment to stay in your creativity. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. Yes, absolutely. So in the past I worked at another restaurant. Like I was not the owner, I was the manager, so I helped open up this restaurant. And we started big. We started with lots of seating, and it just completely overwhelmed us because it was a new concept in town, and it was just so much that like we all burned out. And here I always had this in my mind. If I'm gonna start something, I'm just gonna start small. It's gonna be small. I wanted it small, small, small. I wanted it to be manageable. And we opened up with 22 seats. And then we started to get busy, and we would fill up the restaurant, and then I added a few more seats, so we went to 28. And now I hear people telling me like, you need more. And I'm here like thinking, no, like this is all I can do. And this is what I'm, this is what I'm going to continue doing. Cause I know like, I don't want to burn out. I want to come out with a good product as well. It's very important to me that, the pizzas and the service, and the quality of the pizzas and the quality of the customer service is there. So I'm gonna take my time. I'm just looking forward to my 1 year anniversary and just look back and think, okay, this is what we're doing, and then we'll figure steps up, the next steps after that. But right now is just, this is what I can do, and this is what we're doing.
And I think that's great. And I think that's the way to go. So what I was really curious about with you was two things. One, I know that you have you're of Mexican descent. Is that correct?
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
so,
I was born at, yeah.
oh, that's so awesome. So like, how did that influence your pizza style? And what is your pizza influence style? Like where do you come from with your creations?
In Mexico, like the style of pizza that I grew up eating, it's like American style, but growing up as a kid, it was like amazing, and now that I went back and tried, it was not that great. Um, I So when I made the decision like, okay, I'm gonna get into pizza. Like I was really inspired by Neapolitan style, like the way that the oven, they use a like wood fire oven, and like use their hands and like stretch their hands. So I really liked that, and I wanted to learn that. So took couple courses, and came home, and I really um practice at home. And so my approach is trying to do a little bit of like the Neapolitan, but at the same time, like bring some of the flavors that are familiar to me and that I grew up eating. And that's how I pick the ingredients.
Yeah,
Like
because
this
I've never
week
seen
we're just,
I was just gonna say I've never
uh-huh.
seen. This is just me because I'm from New York, but I've just never seen beans on a pizza. Like beans. I saw that. I was
That's
like,
right.
wow, I wonder how that tastes. That's a protein choice.
It
I mean, I've seen some beans, but not the beans like what you're doing. You know what I mean? I know that
yeah,
tastes good.
yeah.
I know that tastes good. I'm like, oh my goodness, that sounds so amazing.
It's like a It's like a warm hug,
Yeah,
on a really, really cold day. And it's like
yeah,
breakfast,
right.
and it was yeah, it was actually like my husband was telling me like, we've had this dish in Mexico, like you should try it on a pizza. And I was very skeptical, and I didn't want to do it at first, and then we tried together, and it was really,
So
really good.
for the people that may not know, can you talk about exactly what that pie is? What's all the ingredients on there and how you infuse those flavors
Yes.
together?
Yeah, so the dish that is inspired by mollete. So in Mexico, like mollete is with like kind of like a torta bread with butter and then refried beans, cheese. Sometimes it's chorizo and bacon on top, and then
I
just like a
love
salsa.
chorizo. Oh, I
Yeah.
love chorizo. Hmm.
So what I do in the pizza is like pretty much it's the same as it's except the butter, but I do the refried beans, like mozzarella, mushroom mozzarella, chorizo, and then I just top it with the roasted jalapeno salsa that we make here.
That's a shame that
Yeah,
we can't
and
bring food through this Zoom. That sounds so good. Oh my goodness. I think it's so important.
yes,
I think it's so important for people like you to be in the industry too. So just for that influence alone, globally globally inspired pizza is such, the current trend that's in the world right now, and I think a pizza like that would fall into that kind of a category, but also just regular because I don't know, that wouldn't be traditional Neapolitan style pizza. Just it's just the dough. That's the way that you
it's
make it
just
is
the
Neapolitan. Right, right. I'm
yeah, yeah.
thinking out loud. But I
Yeah,
love it. I
you still
love
do
it.
it, still do the dough the same. You
Flat.
just add the ingredients are different. Yeah, so I used to, if initially, like I used to do the slab stretching, but I started having like wrist problems. And just from like portioning like the dough for bagels and like for just doing everything with my hands, I just like started really hurting. And now I do it a little bit different, which I'll just stretch the dough, and so that will not be considered traditional Neapolitan, but but
Yeah.
we all do it our own way,
I
right?
love that. I love that. I love that. I want to hear more. I want to see more. I love it. I love it. And so as a member of Women in Pizza, people always ask me like, "Oh, what do you think?" And I'm like, "I didn't even plan to be a woman in pizza." What kind of impact do you hope to leave on the industry as a woman, member in pizza?
Still like very surreal to me that like people want to hear from me, but I I'm just following my passion. Like I'm following something that I really like. Like I love food. Like everywhere we go, I'm making my mission to try different things. So I would want everybody to follow what their passion and what they love to do. So I think that if I were to say something, is just like trying to find something that brings you joy,
That
right?
really wakes you up,
Because
right? Yeah.
that really wakes you up, and you wake up every morning and you want to go and do it. Because for the longest time, I always struggled because I didn't finish college. So I always struggled with what's my mission in life, right? Like growing up, they tell you you have to go to college, you have to get a degree, and yeah, like that's great for some people, but for me, like I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grow up. So I always struggled, and I finally came to the realization that I'm good at customer service. Like I love to talk to customers. I love to explain what I'm doing here with my food and um, with bagels and pizza. So I it just clicked. It just clicked. I'm in, okay, well, what's the next step now that I know that I like that and I like food? And just find what brings you joy.
Yeah, I
Like you
agree.
said, life is too short.
It is. It is.
Goes.
I totally agree. Yeah, that's cool.
So I saw that you like to do all kinds of like different pizzas, like inspiration. what would be the advice, like the Sonoran, that's the name of the pizza with the refried beans. Like it's a very tasty pizza, but sometimes it makes people worry that it's gonna be too spicy and they don't want to try. So like how do you make people try your food, or like when it's something different?
Well, one thing that I surrendered is that I know I can't please everyone, right?
Hmm.
And then I always felt like, you know, I can at least carve out a niche for myself as far as what I like and what I feel is missing. And maybe someone else feels the way that I feel. And maybe they'll, give it a shot. I started selling pizza from my house, and it was just the hardest thing to get people to just come get pizza from me, and I wasn't really pushy with it because I was never doing it to sell pizza. Like, I was never doing it like, oh my gosh, I want to make $1 million selling pizza. I was just kind of doing it like, oh, I love this. Oh, you want to try it? You do? Okay. So it's like, help me figure this out. So it's like my community in Rockaway, I feel like they helped me figure it out. So I would make all these different kind of styles, and then I would see what people would gravitate to. And then I would say, people really love this. People really love that. And then I would just kind of put that for those pies that I found that the audience really liked or the customer really liked. I would put that forward more, like make sure I have more inventory of that, because I know every week, such and such is going to call me for this, or blah, 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 like
Mm-hmm.
that. And I just started the way I came up with the piece of flavors is because, one thing that inspired me to take a chance and step out of the traditional pizza pies was that I'm from New York. And in New York, when I was growing up, I grew up in an urban area. And so whenever Italian pizzerias would come to our area, they would always sell like ethnic products in their pizzeria. So it would be like pizza, but then it would be like a beef patty. And I know a beef patty. I'm Jamaican. My parents are Jamaican. So I know a beef patty is Jamaican. I'm like, what is that beef patty doing inside this pizzeria? And then I used to be, as a kid, and I would see Tower Isle. I'm like, Tower Isle, they sell beef patties in this pizzeria. And then it was just so crazy. They would slice it open and they would fill it with mozzarella. And that was so taboo to Jamaican people. It's like, let's say you had a Mexican dish and something you would never do. And then you see somebody coming over and they're just busting open your empanada, let's say, filling it up with something that's just like, different. And you're like, what are they putting that in there for? That doesn't go in there. And then like another thing too is like Jamaicans are real funny with dairy. So we don't like a lot of cheese. I'm still trying to get my head around stracciatella. Like, I'm just like, okay. This is like,
Oh, I love
it's,
that.
I know. But I grew up away. So it's like, oh my God, all that cream. Okay, wait, okay. I still got to wrap my head
Yeah.
around it. And burrata, I'm being honest, right? But
Yeah.
but I do like ricotta and things like that. So thank God for that, right? But
Yeah.
so when I saw them doing that, I felt like I could take liberty too. I felt like, hey, I can put some jerk chicken on this pizza. I'm doing the reverse. The reverse. Like, they opened up the beef patty and sold their beef patty with mozzarella. I'm gonna put jerk chicken on this pizza. I'm gonna put, my influence on this pizza and see if somebody would like it. And then there was a food desert in my neighborhood where we didn't have variety, so I started just filling in the gaps. Oh, you know what? There's no real like Philly cheesesteak. Let me do a Philly cheesesteak pizza. Oh, you know what? There's no real, jerk chicken. Let me do a jerk chicken. You know what? There's no real Asian barbecue. Let me do an Asian barbecue. So that's how I got my different pies, influences. But as I started making pizza more and learning more culinary wise, I want to take even more risks and do more, things. That's why I always love people like you that, just said, hey, this tastes so good where I'm from, I'm going to put it on a pizza, you know?
Hmm.
And my whole rule is if it goes, it goes. You know how they say pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. If it goes, it goes. If you put the pineapple right and it goes, it goes. If you put the pineapple
That's
wrong, it doesn't go. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
that's
yes.
kind
Like my special this week. I'm only open 3 days a week, Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. And my special this week is gonna be an al pastor pizza.
yes.
Um, yeah, and my husband does the photos for our social media, and he didn't he didn't want me to put the pineapple on top of the pizza. He was like, "It's just so controversial. Just put it on the side."
Do it.
So
Do it. And plus, pineapple is so pretty in photos. The yellow,
yeah,
it just
yes,
looks so pretty. Like
yes,
I feel like aesthetically, it's a pretty pie. Like it'll be pretty probably.
yeah,
Because
yeah, and it
aesthetically,
tasted so good. Yeah,
you'll have some pizza snobs that'll roll their eyes. But look, when you're hungry and you're scrolling and something looks good, it doesn't matter. And
mhm.
those photos mean everything, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yes, yes. And that's how I've heard from some people is that, oh, like I saw your photo on Instagram, and I wanted to
hmm.
come and see you. Um, talking about food desert, like we are in the Mississippi Delta, and we're 2 hours like south of Memphis, Tennessee, and 2 hours north. Um, West of Jackson, Mississippi. So we're in this like big area where we have to travel if you want to go to a good restaurant. And we're used to traveling like 2 hours to go and eat at something that we really want. So thankfully for us, like social media has been great to reach
Oh,
to those people from different towns like Oxford, Mississippi. I've had people that come from Jackson, Memphis, and around the area as well. So, yes, like put to put the best photo out there, and it's been great for us. And
yes, because don't sleep on that because I remember when I first started and I was posting and I used to post in face when I first started, I was posting in locally like Facebook groups because I knew that this was a town. So like if you have a town group, post in there like, from where your town and like so people say, hey, that's right near us. I'll try that. And then also don't be surprised. Those pictures are so compelling. I remember when I first started, by the way, this would be my 10th year that I
wow,
started to pizzas.
congratulations!
This week too, this week. And I'm just so busy. I haven't had a chance to even celebrate or even acknowledge it, but it is what it is. I made a decision that this is my life, so it doesn't even matter anymore. But I'm saying that to say that I remember when I first started and I would sit, but I would always be prepared 3 days a week and I would sit and I would always be prepared. And like sometimes no one would come. And then the second year, people started really coming and coming. And then next thing you know, people were coming from Texas. People will be like, I'm here from London. I follow you. I'm in London. I'm here and I'm in New York. I'm going to take a cab from the city all the way to you. And I live on the outskirts. So I'm like an hour and a half out the city. And they would come to the city and take a round trip Uber just to pick up from me at home. So
That's amazing.
that's how compelling the pictures are. I'm just telling you that because the pictures are everything. When people see good food, they'll travel. I won't be too surprised to know that someone is like, hey, I'm from out of state. I'm from, Canada. I'm from, I know that's gonna happen for you. I know that's gonna happen
Yeah,
for you.
I'm just been really I'm very blessed that my husband is a professional photographer because I put his photo against my photo and it's just like nope. How are we looking at the same pizza and they look so different and mine are blurry and like he just takes pride on what he does and wants everything to look perfect. So I I'm lucky that he does my social media because I don't think I could do or the restaurant would be where it is if I had to do pizza and employees and at the same time do social media is just it's a lot.
Well, one thing that's on my mind when you said that too is that I just want to leave you with this too. That's so important because I had the same struggle you did because when I first started in 2014, I didn't come outside because I was just so engulfed in this pizza thing. I didn't go out. I didn't see friends. I didn't talk to anybody. I was just making pizza every day. And I didn't really come outside till like 2018. That's 4 years, right? 4 years, 2018. And I started to, that's when I met, Alexandra and, Orlando Foods. And I went to Pizza Expo and I met all these people. And I have to say, it's so important, especially as a member of Women in Pizza, is that in sales, it's just the number one rule of sales is that people don't buy products, they buy people. That's the number one rule of sales across the board. Any company, anything you're selling. And just remember that you are so important to your brand and to your business. And people are buying Marisol. They're buying what's coming from Marisol's heart and hands. And don't underestimate that. Like, don't feel pressure like, oh, I can't come in front of this camera, or oh, I want to stay in the background and da 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 da. No, like, come forward and let people see who you are so they can fall in love with you. And that is the real, true key to success as far as selling is concerned. Just always remember that. Like, your pieces will stay in a window, or your flyers will go circulate everywhere. But when they identify you with the brand, they're like, oh no, I want a pizza from Marisol. She does, how do you say it? How do you say your pizza name? I want to make sure I say it right. Yeah. She does Lanya's pizza and bagels. And, that's how that's how you build and build and build success. You'd be surprised how much influence and inspiration you'll be to so many people.
Some pizzaiolists are pretty good at putting themselves out there. Their social media, it's
yeah,
big.
like, I'm not saying
and
I'm not saying you gotta be like a show.
No, not just that. Yeah.
It's important though.
It really is, and I'm really learning to do that a little bit more, especially like starting. I would just say I'm a worker. I just want to be in the back, and I'm not in the back. I want to be working, and this is what I want to do. But now, like, I've been having to learn to put myself a little bit out there and just talking to people that I usually wouldn't talk to. And just here being at the restaurant, like, people come in and they want to talk to me. They want to say hello. So, and they can see us the way that the restaurant is set up is the dining area, the register, and then the oven is in the back. So they see us working. They see us putting the pizza out there. They see the fire. So they really like that. And they just, as soon as they come in, they just want to go and say hello and how they were here the week before, how they've been wanting to come, and they just want to talk to me. So I really love that aspect of the restaurant. And I'm getting better at, communicating.
And it's so funny when you said they see the fire. In my head, I said, yeah, she's the fire. Don't forget that.
Thank you. Thank you. So you started like with frozen pizzas, like how I got a vacuum sealer, and I want to do like frozen pizzas as well, just to eliminate waste. Like so how was that for you?
Well, so I actually didn't start that. I did that for seasonality because I live in a beach town, so the summers will be like high volume, and then the fall and winter will be kind of slow. And I was like, and then people will still be writing me from all over the country, like, oh, I was out there in Rockaway at the beach, and then I really miss your pizza. I wish I could get it. And I was like, well, how can I do this? And I just started studying and figuring out logistically how to do it is one thing. And then figuring out how to keep the quality is another thing. But then, I just love bread. Don't you just love bread? That old method of, like, if it's stale, you run it underwater, you put it in the oven and it comes back. Like, bread is a miracle food, right?
Yeah.
And, and
Yes.
I'm saying that to say is don't underestimate the power of a par bake.
Mm-hmm.
Par bake is like fascinating to me. Like how you can par bake something and then do it, freeze it, and then put it back in the oven, and then the bread comes alive like it was never, it's like, let me finish up for you. Oh. It's like that's what like par bake is. Par bake is like, wait, I'm not ready yet. Then it gets in the oven after it's frozen and it comes alive. It's like, okay, I'm ready for you now. Like, that's the miracle of like bread. I just love that aspect of bread. So to
Yeah.
tell you, I find that a par bake is always best, and you got to find your sweet spot in your par bake, right? You got to
Mm-hmm.
think about how they're going to reheat it, what kind of result you want, what kind of browning you want, what kind of air you want, all these different characteristics that you want in your pie. Then you got to think about your toppings, what should be cooked, what should be raw, what can be raw, what I don't want to get anyone sick. What can I do? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then you want to think about the finishing off. Like how can I facilitate this process for the customer to finish off this pie? What kind of tips can I give this customer to finish it off so I know they get an excellent result every time? And that's all up to you, right? Like I can tell you what I
Yeah.
feel. I can tell you what I feel is like, you know, what I want the result to be for my pies, but you have to see you want the result to be your pies. You know what I mean? But it's all
Yeah.
fundamentally the same thing. But I would say the number one thing is your par bake. And just understanding that by law, we know that pizza requires so much heat, you know. But by law, I remember a lawyer told me one time that I can't tell no one to preheat over 500 degrees or 450. Like once it's 500, I can get into like a lawsuit kind of thing, like. So I would have to put on my instructions, heat to 500, heat to 450. But I really want to say, get that oven as hot as you can and put the fire on. you know, that's what I really want to say.
But that's
Let that oven
why.
sit for 2 hours and get the fire, put the burner on, and make that steel or stone hot as hell. Get the 900-degree gloves. I want to say, do all these things, right? But I know I can't do that. So then that's why in your prep, you want to make sure it's just as facilitated as possible. So at 450 degrees minimum, how is this pie going to come out in the reheat?
Yeah.
And that's
Especially
where
with
your
Neapolitan. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and that's where your experimentation comes in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The first pizzas that I tried to vacuum seal, I didn't like, I let the pizza cool and I put it in the vacuum seal, and the vacuum seal is so powerful that it came out just like
Suck the
really
sauce.
flat.
Oh yeah.
It just eliminated the cornicione, like the sides,
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, it's not gonna work. I don't want my pizza to look like that.
I know
And the
exactly.
second Yeah, and then the second try, I just put the pizzas in the freezer and let it like freeze that way, and then try to vacuum seal that way so the edges will stay intact. But the vacuum sealer is so powerful that it
You
still
gotta go doop doop doop
brings it.
times. You gotta press it like boop boop boop
Mhm.
boop boop boop. Like some people, they just
Yeah.
but sometimes I will find I will just do a
Mhm.
manual and just get the seal just
Yeah.
that without. And another thing too is that you got to find your sweet spot in the freeze too, right? Because once it starts to get that ice crystal, then it starts, the air sucks out all the flavor. So you know what I would do?
Mm.
I would take parchment paper and I would cover my pizza creations in parchment so it's not open total. Like I go to people's freezers and I've been to big kitchens and I go to people's freezers and they got all the pizzas out in the big freezer, just out. But I know for a fact that when you have pizza out like that, the cold air sucks the flavor out the pie. I like to
Mm.
wrap in parchment and
Mhm.
put it in the freezer, let it get to that point where it's not totally frozen, but frozen enough to vacuum seal, where the sauce is not going to move,
Mm.
the ingredients are not going to
Yeah.
move, and it doesn't have any of the crystallization on it. because when you leave it
Mm.
to the open air, it's just like your food. Like when you open, like how you leave food in the freezer and then you take it out and then flavors out of it after a while.
Or the flavors from the freezer get
Yeah.
to the
So I'm a parchment girl.
Yeah, it changes the flavor.
So even if I had a long tray, like if I had a big walk-in freezer and I had a long tray, I would parchment the whole thing on top gently parchment over it. Just something where it could just protect the integrity of what I created. Because I also want it to be pretty.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's
And
something
that's yeah.
and then how you stack, so it doesn't crush your cornicione too. Different things like you always stack on a flat surface, so everything is laid flat. Because sometimes when it freezes, it curls like this. It can curl. Things could curl, and now your piece is looking like a little, So these are all these little tricks that you can just learn, through experimentation. Like, how can I get this to not do that? How can I make sure the flavor stays there? How can I make sure and then, of course, the bake. This is what my cornicione looks like. Perfect. You know what? If this cooks another 2 minutes, it'll be perfect. Okay. So the customer could do 2 minutes. By the time it freezes, and I always believe in putting the pizza in frozen. Never let it get to room temperature, then put it in. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. I don't like when frozen pizza gets room temperature, then you put it in. I like it going straight from the freezer to the oven and then let the heat just do what it got to do. So that's why that crust is always almost completely done. You know what I mean? And the ingredients on top, you just figure it out. Cheese,
Yeah.
It's different, whatever. Because I used to do all kinds of things like, scarpariello. I used to do like all kinds of toppings on my pizza, jerk, all kinds of things. And I would have to make all that stuff, let it cool because I don't want to put the hot stuff on the pizza. So you make all the ingredients cool, but it's cooked. Then you put it on and then you put it in the freezer. You let it stay flat. And then, so I would have these freezer with trays like this. And then I would put them all in there. And I would put like a board. I'll put the parchment. Then I'll put a cardboard, make it flat, put another one. So that way it always just stayed like that. So that's what I did. Now, logistically speaking, that's a whole nother animal. If you're gonna go through Goldbelly, then you won't have any problems at all like that. But logistically, woo! You want to talk about stress? You watching that track. You watching that track and go to Alabama from New York. You're like, they're in a rural area. What time do they get deliveries? Oh, it's high sun. Oh no. I hope they pick up their package,
With summer, yeah. I don't think there's, after the pandemic, I don't think here in the Delta there's such a thing as a 2-day delivery.
Right. It all changed.
From it all changed. Like it takes, if you order on Sunday night, it gets here on Thursday or maybe Friday. So it's yeah. What I would like to do here is just have them, because I'm only open for 3 days, is to have them here at the store for sale for people to take home when we're not open.
Yeah, that's so sweet. I love that.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep practicing.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should also demo and show them reheating the pie in the wood-fired oven. They'll be so like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is frozen. People still can't believe that frozen pizza can taste fresh. Just remember that you can always wow a customer by making your frozen pizza in front of them. You should do a social media showing your pizza. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Oh yes. I knew that I had to keep practicing too, just to perfect my methods and then put them to work. So yeah, thank you so much.
You'll be just fine. Yeah. Let's see what else. So what do you think, like from 5 years from now, what do you think, what's your goal 5 years from now? What'd you say?
Oof. I really haven't thought about, like, I'm not a very gold like person.
I,
I don't set goals, and I feel like, especially like after the pandemic, like everything changed. Um, so I think that for me, it's like I want to get us to 1 year anniversary, and my goal for Lenya is like to be able to have a restaurant where people in the community come and have fun and have good food, and at the same time for me to have a job that I enjoy, and to have employees. Like right now all of my employees are women.
oh,
um
that's
I
awesome.
Yeah, they're all women and they're amazing. The majority go to the university here. A couple of them are studying to be pilots,
Oh,
um, and then I have another girl that she's like my right hand worker. She is going to culinary school, so my goal is to help each other out, and just make this restaurant what it can be the short time that I'm gonna have them here, um and at the same time being able to pay them a livable wage, and just pay my bills, pay myself, and go on vacation.
awesome.
Go on vacation
Marisol's
from
like,
time
I
to
want to live
time.
my life. I want peace of mind. I want zen. I don't want no pressures of this world. I just want to do what I love and leave me alone. That's Marisol. I feel you on that. I feel
Well,
you. That's a goal.
well, I just
That's a goal, by the
it,
way.
it, it, well, I guess so. Yes, yes. Well,
That's a
yes,
goal.
that's my goal.
That's a goal. That's a
Well,
one hell of a goal.
well, I've just worked in the restaurant business, and I've been burned out, and I left, and I said I'm never gonna do this again, and I missed it. I missed the fast pace, and I said to myself, okay, if you're gonna do this again, this is what you should do. Like, this is like, don't repeat your mistakes, right? Like, don't overwork yourself. I was working like 70 hours a week for another restaurant, and I was not even like owner, so life is too short, and it's going really fast. It goes really fast, and I just want to enjoy my time here at the restaurant with customers and at home with my husband. Like, we love to travel, and I want to be able to do that.
I'm just laughing because, we live in a world where everyone just has all these big lofty things. They think that that's it. I like what you want to do. I feel the same way. Like, I immediately just took all this pressure off myself. Like, I used to feel so much pressure, like just to prove myself and oh no, yeah, because people couldn't believe I could make pizza. First of all, I had to spend years. Yes, I can make pizza. Like, you can't. Yes, like, so that was always something that I had to like prove myself. Now I'm like, this is something I love, and I'm not gonna let anyone, I don't care what it is, rob me of that. Because
Hmm.
I've been at peace for so many years, finding this craft that I love, and I'm so curious, and so for me, it's such a learning curve because nobody in my family ever did anything culinary. It's such a learning curve for me, and I'm always so curious, and I'm so fascinated by the Italian culture as well. Like, some people would say, like, I had people say, like, not people, let me just say that for the most part no one's saying that, but you have your trolls because I host a pizza show. I'm a Black woman, a Black woman. So they're like, oh, and then they're always seeing me like with, I'm Black. So they always see me with like Italians, 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 Italians. It's not that I'm necessarily so like, oh, I want to appropriate this culture. I'm just truly fascinated by it. I just love it.
Oh
I
yeah.
just love, I just, and I find I find something so I don't know what the word is, but I find something so at home for me because it's very familiar. Like, even though it's not my culture, it's just very familiar to me because, the ethics are the same. Like, they treat people kind, they break commune with food, integrity and ingredients, that, they care about their craft. These are all things that, like, I grew up with. My mother, when she would make stuff, it was always like, no, that's not right. No, you got to do it like this. It was always an integral dish. So it's like, wow, like, these people really care. I want to care. So, for me, I love putting myself forward in what I make, but I also like the tradition and learning more about the tradition of what, not, we all know bread and pizza goes way, 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 way back, but I just love what the Italian culture has done with it, and how they did everything. And I just like to just learn and learn and learn and learn and learn. And then I always tell the story that I was home for 4 years, like, not doing anything. And then when I went to Pizza Expo, and the thing that really changed me and really got me falling in love with the Italian aspect of it was when I would see grown men cry over their craft. It's like, these are grown men and they are crying over a crust. And I was like, wow, they're so passionate.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
wow. I was like, these are my people. Like, because
Yeah.
I'm like, I found my people. You know what I mean? So it's not like
Yeah.
a ethnic thing. It's not like a this thing. It's just a passion thing.
The
It's a
passion
craft thing.
is something that, yeah, it's something that I've seen and it's very inspiring. Like,
It's very.
I want, yeah, very inspiring. And that's too what seeing that passion, what made me pursue as well, like pizza. And it made
Yeah.
me think that the way that one of my teachers, like in Italy, his name is Fabio, he was so passionate about it, and he was telling me, you can do this, you can do it, no, do it like this, no, do it like that. And at the end of my course, I was like, I think I can do this. I think I can do this. So and I always remember him, and I always remember him like fondly because of his passion. Like, he's been
Yeah.
doing this for since he was 8. So I'm sorry, the phone is ringing.
No, it's okay. We're so lucky because unlike any other part of the food industry, the pizza industry is different. It's just this
Hmm.
love and camaraderie and community and passion that, I haven't seen. I don't know. Like, doing the show, I meet all kinds of chefs, doing all kinds of cuisine, but there's nothing like the pizza industry. Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Even like on our trip to Italy, like even just going to a pizzeria and doing the pizza tasting menu, it's an experience itself. It's going to one of those testing menus have been the highlight of our trips, and just how everything is curated, and it's pizza, right? Like, for us, it's just like it is just something that we pick up on a Friday night, but for them is like life. They
Right.
eat it every day,
Right.
and then to have like this beautiful like tasting menu, and it tastes delicious at the same time, and they make it a whole experience. uh it's wonderful to see, and it keeps me drawn to it
Yeah, me
and
too.
want to learn more.
No, I was gonna just say that me too. And the thing is that because my palate is so different, it
Mhm.
just keeps me curious because I'm like, wow, that's what you taste like. For instance, like when I taste a keste pie, and to me it has so much salt, like very salty, like the sea salt is so highly prevalent in a keste pie. And I'm like, wow, so this salt taste is what is like to you is like the sea, they want to taste the sea. Oh, because it's supposed to be that salty like that. Whereas I just ordered a pizza from my local Geno's and it tasted like bread on a sub. Like you get a hero,
Mm.
like you get a hero, or I don't know what you guys call it out there, but we call it heroes or hoagies. I don't know. And the bread was so light and airy. Uh, it was just light, soft, like very soft, airy, not airy like Conachona airy, but like a
Mhm.
hero
Mm.
bread with no salt, right? So it's like
Mm.
interesting to see perspectives, like just what how they use their salt. It's just different. It's just like, oh, and then the olive oils, just so different. It's like you
Mm.
taste one olive oil, you're like, oh, then you taste another olive oil, you're like, good God, what have I been eating? It's like, the tomatoes. It's like
Oh,
you eat one
yeah.
tomato, and it's like, oh, okay, ragu. And then now we eat ragu, you can taste how much they boiled it out. Like you could taste how much they boiled the tomato out. Like, and then when you taste a tomato from Italy or whatever, or like a chow or whatever, then you taste like, oh my gosh, this is what a tomato tastes like. Wow, I never noticed. It's just I just think I'll do it forever because it's just always something to learn.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like, well, right now I'm just doing Neapolitan. I would love to learn other styles as well.
Hmm.
And that's not just because I want to bring it here, but also I want to learn. I want to
Just to
make it
experiment. Yeah.
myself. Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
So what kind of
Hmm.
pizza in Mississippi is like the standard kind of pizza? Is it like pan pizza? What's the standard pizza out in
I would
Mississippi?
say, well, here in Cleveland, Mississippi, the majority are chain pizzerias,
Oh,
and then
just
we have one. Yeah, we have one pizzeria that started locally, like 20 minutes from here, and it actually opened up the year that I moved to Cleveland in 2009, and it just grew. They're in several states now here in the South. It's called Lost Pizza, and it's like American style.
what would you say is
I would
American style? What's American style?
uh
I'm just curious what you would
um
think.
well, let's see. I mean, just
No, I'm just curious.
they have like no, yeah, they have several sizes.
Oh, no volume.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Sorry,
Oh,
my
okay.
headphone.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say they have several sizes, and small, medium, large, and they use like a already like cooked sauce, and it's kind of like pan pizza. Maybe it's not like too
Oh,
thin. Yeah, I believe they do their dough, but I don't know like their whole process, and it's not sure.
no, I got you. I just want to know what you would like, like I don't think I've never really heard the term American pizza that often. American. So that's why I kind of was like, wow, American pizza.
He's gonna say, I was just saying that we do have a couple of more pizzerias in northern Mississippi that use a brick oven.
Oh,
They're
okay.
about an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
The first one downtown in
Mm,
downtown Cleveland,
mm.
and yeah, and I think I'm the first with the Spanish name in downtown
I love
Cleveland. I
it.
was just thinking about that.
I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Sometimes you don't even realize the
Um,
impact you're making until you sit down and think about it, right?
Yeah, I was looking at a photo of like several businesses, and then it said Leña, and I was thinking, I was thinking, I wonder if it's the same time they've had the letter Ñ, the
Uh,
one with the squiggly,
yeah.
and I Like I think it might be the first one, so it's big for me.
That is. Yeah, I just think it's so great that you just opened up a restaurant. I envy people like you. Not envy in a bad way, but just like, wow. I just know what it takes. You know, when I do the show, like I always have guests that own restaurants, and the first thing they tell me is, "What do you do? You want to open a restaurant?" And I'm like, "Well, wasn't that easy for you to say? You have a restaurant." Like, you know, they're always discouraging me not to. And then I'm always in this tug of war, like, should I open a restaurant? Because you know, I do miss serving the people. I do miss the people community, and you know, I would see people's birthdays, and you know, people pull up and see me and I'll talk to them, and I sometimes I do miss that, you know, that part. But then another thing too, I really don't like vending. I don't like vending. Like I don't like, you know, pizza's so hard to do outdoors. Like, you know, keeping everything cool, keeping everything fresh, the dough, the this, the that, blah, blah, blah. So it's like I would want to pop up more, but popping up is such a beast sometimes. It's such a beast, especially if you don't have ongoing help. And I think that that's what I
Mhm.
need to learn to do. Maybe you can help me with this, because this is an area for me that might be hard. I have a very hard time relinquishing control, to task people to do things and take over things. And, you know, that is my biggest downfall, I would say. Like, I could be so much bigger if I just had, like, you know, employees or people helping. But to me, I could never find anybody, to me, one that I feel like, can I trust this person? And then another, I'm so private. And then secondly, like I'm always ending up doing double work. Like, do you know, like you give someone some responsibility sometimes, and then you end up, but then maybe I just don't have faith in people. I need to have more faith in people. What do you think my problem is? Help me,
Well,
Marisol.
for me, like hiring like people, I feel like I've been doing a good job so far, like hiring people that are like excited to work here or excited to work. It in the past, I would just hire anybody, and but you know when you meet people, like you know, or you have that feeling that okay, this person wants to work. Um, so it took time like to train, and I have people that do the oven. I right now like I have the same problem as you, like
Oh, really?
uh getting like right now, like I'm the one that is shaping the pizzas. So well, it's been so busy. I'm the one shaping the pizzas that I haven't giving, or I haven't taken the time to train somebody and giving them the opportunity to do them as well. I feel like right now, because I've been having a lot of customers that are like first time customers, that I want everything to look like a certain way, like
And
look is,
perfect.
but at some point I think that I'm just gonna have to, you know, give it up, like give control, because I cannot do everything myself. Like I have to realize, or I'm realizing that I can't do everything myself, and at some point if I get sick, nobody's gonna be able to open the restaurant, because I'm not gonna be able to be here. So I know that I'm gonna have to take time to train somebody. But on other things or other tasks, I've been giving control. Um, like I have somebody helping me prep, or like I have somebody doing the dough now. So that was something different, because I would be the one doing the dough. So now I have somebody else doing that. It's just baby steps. That's what I found, is just baby steps. And yes, like they make mistakes, but we all make mistakes.
Yes, I know.
And mhm,
So where do you source your people from? Like, I heard you say some of them are in school. Like, do you contact a local university? Like, how do you find your people?
So I put an ad. I put an ad when we first opened, but I have a friend that she has a group. She helps like Delta State. It's the university Delta State students that go to Catholic school. She meets with them once a week, and there was this girl that her family is from. It's Italian, and she heard that there was a pizzeria opening up, and like, oh, like my parents we're all Italian, like we lived in New York and Florida, and now we're here and I would like to work. So like she was one of my first hires, and like she was so excited, and I want to work, and I want to like pizza. I love pizza. So from her, like I was able to hire a couple more people
Oh,
because from what I've been learning now is like aviation is like very rigorous course like here, and they have to be very dedicated. The people that go to this course, they have to be very dedicated. So the students are very organized and dedicated and hardworking students. So I've been very lucky that they've been sending me people. So
mm,
right now it's like somebody recommending somebody. I've tried to do interviews with like people that just walk in, but it hasn't worked out. But I find it that when somebody recommends and they say like, I know this person and they're hardworking people, it's been working for me. And just
okay,
like to
that's
see.
good. That's good. I'm gonna, hopefully, I don't know. I have to just, sometimes I just don't know, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well,
We'll
good
see.
luck with that. It's really hard, especially yes, it's your business and you want to be able to trust people. And um, like I hear from friends that are in the restaurant business that it's right now it's a tough time to
Yeah, that's what I
keep.
keep hearing. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
to
think you're
keep.
doing it
But
smart. The way you're doing it is smart. Yeah.
and also like treat them with respect,
Oh
and
yeah.
like I wanna pay them like a livable wage. Like they don't.
Mm.
We do counter service. We don't have waitress, so they don't make the waitress wage. I'll
They
pay
make
them a
a
little
real
bit. Yeah, yeah. So and then plus tips. So I feel that they're like really happy and they come up like full of energy, and we finish a shift and then they come back the next day and they're like full of energy again, and then they just tell their friends that it's a good place to work. So that
Mm.
makes me feel better.
And how
Yeah, I
many people do
used to
you have? How many people would you say you have on staff?
I have five.
Five. Okay. Okay.
And
You feel like
so
you feel good. You feel good with the five.
well, for the days that we're open, like I would like to open on Wednesdays. I would need more people. Just yeah, just because some of them have class, and then we will need another extra day of prep, and so like I'm trying to make it all work. And
Mhm.
yeah, but right now it's been working the 3 days a week, and bagels
That's
on Saturday. Yeah. Mhm.
mhm. That's good. How many pies would you say you make a day?
Um, on a very busy day, I would say around 110.
Like 110? Yeah, I see you. Are you open like all day or just like 6 hours?
No, so I'm open from 5 until 9.
I
Just
like
for
that. I like that. I think that that is just Yeah, I think about these things, and see, the thing in New York is that the overhead is so high. Like when I was looking at restaurants, they were 18 grand a month, 15 grand a month rent, taxes.
Mhm.
And then I was just like, if I were open anywhere else in the country, where would I open? I was trying to figure out, like, then I went down to Miami and saw a couple of places, a couple of shops, and just the overhead is so high. And I'm thinking about the volume of pies, what I'm selling, employees, rent. I'm just like, wow, seems so overwhelming. You know what I mean? But we'll see.
That was one of the reasons I was able to open here, because the building that I'm renting, thankfully rent hasn't been that high.
Thank God.
But I don't think I will be able to open in another place with paying that much for rent. It's too much. It's like you said, we have to pay taxes. You have to pay payroll taxes, pay
Right.
employees. Food costs is going, like, I'm checking my statements, and it's just like up and down, up and down. So it's it's tough out there, but you just gotta keep consistent and do what you love to do, and
Yeah.
hoping that.
And you know what? I hope that people get from this, from both of us, is that do it your way. Like, you're doing it
Yes.
your way, I'm doing it my way. And, we all know what gives us peace and what rattles us and what stresses us out and how to come back to center. So we all got to do what works for, you know, and I refuse to let the pressures of, you know, even notoriety or whatever, you name it. I just want to just always remember why I started. I always want to be thankful for the gift, because it's a gift, really and truly. Um, I always want to be thankful for that, just the gift of the craft itself and just the gift of the community. It's just a gift. And I just want to always be thankful for that and just stay grounded and rooted in that. I mean, we all like nice things. I like to travel for sure. I like nice things. I do, and I like money too. I like all these things. But at the end of the day, what's most important is your soul and how you feel and your drive and feeling alive and feeling good and knowing that you're making an impact, knowing that you're inspiring someone, knowing that you're giving to someone. And there's no better vehicle than food, you know?
Oh yeah, it brings people together.
Mm-hmm.
It really brings communities together, and I'm very grateful that here in Cleveland I've had a great reception, and they support me, and all, like, my friends that work in restaurant business, they've helping me out. They've also sent people that to apply. So it's I wouldn't like to do this in a big city. I think I like the small community because everybody knows everybody here, and they try to help you out the best way they can. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm really happy that I'm here in Cleveland and doing this. And
Well, I hope to come out there and meet you one day. I've never been to Mississippi. Do you come to New York often?
never I've been because my husband's family, well, they're from Maine, and when we're
Oh,
on that side of the country, we tried. I've been to New York. I've been to New York City. I love it. I love to visit. Um, but you should come. Like, you should really come
I'm
to
curious.
Cleveland.
I'm really curious. If I do, I'm gonna give you a call. I'm curious.
Absolutely, yeah.
We should just do a road trip. Just do a road trip. I should
The
come pick you up.
best.
I should come pick you up and drive you back to New York and be like, look at this. How could you do anything? No, just joking.
Oh, like, the best time to visit, I would say, is in the spring. I love spring here, like seeing all the trees, all the flowers blooming is beautiful. like in any other place, there's some,
Of
not so
course.
good,
Of course.
but I've built a community. I've had friends here, and I really like it here. So,
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad. I'm so happy for you.
are you are you gonna be at the Pizza Expo in March?
No, I probably won't be at Pizza Expo. No, probably not. Um, but I will be watching to see what's going on. So I hope
Any
that,
advice?
huh?
Any advice is gonna be my first time
Are you
at a.
competing? Are you competing?
I'm not competing. I'm just overall my first time at a Pizza Expo.
First of all, Marisol, I'm gonna need you to pop your collar a little bit, like pop your collar a little bit. You are a woman in pizza, so you don't need advice. You're in already, girl. So you come in there, and first of all, a woman in pizza is gonna rack you up in woman in pizza everything, and then they're gonna introduce you to everyone, and you're a part of the family. You're not gonna need any advice. They're gonna welcome you with open arms, and you're gonna meet other wonderful women and other wonderful men. People are gonna be so, it's such a great environment. Like people are gonna be so zipping around, trying to figure out the last minute touches to their creations to compete. You know, you could go watch the judging and see if it's real. I'm just joking. And then there's all the booths. You're gonna see everyone selling everything. You're gonna just, be prepared to like get a bag. Get a bag so you can bring stuff home. There's gonna be all different kinds of products out there that you might want to try and incorporate to what you're doing, and equipment out there that you might want to buy or look into that can make your life easier. I mean, Pizza Expo is amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, you're gonna have, but you're gonna have a ball because everyone is nice. There's Everyone's so nice. They're gonna be like Marisol, and then that's gonna be that. Period. You're a woman in pizza. Pop your collar. You're good.
I'm excited.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you're good. You're good money. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Everyone's so nice. You're gonna see a lot of rock star people. I mean, we all are rock stars. You're gonna see some people that's like, wow, look what they've done. Make sure you go to all the events. Make sure you go to all the dinners that you're invited to. Pay attention, meet people, see who you vibe with. Of course, you're not gonna vibe with everyone, but there's so many people to love, so many people that's gonna crack you up and make you feel like, where have you been all my life? I mean, just fun, like, because you're in your business, you're so serious, you're so this, you're so consumed. Then you go out, you see all these people that are just like you, just letting loose. Gamble a little, eat, go to all the different pizzerias that, they're having their little parties. Go. Don't be shy. Go and see what other people are doing. Just be like, that's interesting. And just enjoy yourself.
I'm just ready to be a little sponge and absorb.
Be a sponge, and just be a member though. I want you to remember that. Like, you are officially, woman in pizza. Like, you're in. You're good. And you're someone that's making an impact, and you're someone that's gonna influence someone, and people are gonna walk in with you with open arms. So yeah, that's you're good. Don't even worry about it. I'm excited for you. It's your first expo? You like
Expo, and yes, like when we wanted to go last year, but we were getting ready to open up, so it was too soon. And there's been other expos, but I've just been here at the restaurant, so we were like, okay, we have to go to the next one, and we signed up like right away as soon as they sent the email. So me and my husband are gonna go, and we're super excited.
Yeah, and your husband is going to be treated like family. Everyone, it's just, we're lucky. This is a different industry. It's not like any other part of the food industry. I don't know. Maybe dessert industry might be a good industry where they're also like that too. I don't know. But pizza, it's like different. Like everyone's gonna
Yeah.
remember you. Everyone's gonna welcome you. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. And just enjoy yourself. Take a load
Yeah.
off.
Yes. Well, we'll do. We'll do.
Yeah. But I'm sure we'll see each other soon. I'm sure. And I look
Yeah.
forward
Well,
to seeing you. What'd you say?
yes. Like I just want to say that I've been watching your pizza wars on YouTube, and you're doing an amazing job. Like I
Well,
really
thank
enjoy
you.
watching.
Thank you so much. I'm shy, believe it or not. So I just when they say action, I'm just like, okay. So
You
I
can
try.
have amazing guests. Like, how does it feel to have all these like people in the food industry and just having to just
It's
talk
good.
to?
It feels good. Yeah, that's just the honest part of it. And it's just it's well, the competing last season I didn't compete, but I do miss the competing part because you know, um, I would always go in with blinders, and people swore it was rigged. They're rigged. It's never rigged. I really do get upset when I lose. You know,
Mhm.
um, there's also like I get upset when they don't do they're real sticklers behind the scene to make sure that the judges don't see things, but when the judges see things, I get pissed. I'm like, excuse me, can you escort them so it could be fair? I get really like competitive like that. So it was a lot of pressure over the 4 competing seasons. It was a lot of pressure. I'm telling you, a lot of pressure because it was like last minute. Sometimes stuff is last minute, and I never wouldn't want to know what the other guest is making, or whatever. And then you have things in the back like, your pie was cold when the judges got it, and you pissed off, or these are little things like that. But I learned to take it all in stride now. Like I don't even care anymore. Like tomorrow, my episode with Drew Barrymore is gonna air on TV tomorrow on the Drew Barrymore show, and you'll see it was so interesting. But now when I compete, I don't even get. Of course, I want to win, but I just learn to have fun. Gotta have
Yes.
fun. And there's times I'll tell you another secret. There's times where I've helped guests make their pies. You know, not to be mean, but it's like I'm not gonna see you. I'm not gonna see you falling apart and just stand there like, oh. Sometimes I'm like, no, let me help you. Let me help you with this. Let me help you with that. And they'll win. And I'll be like, ooh.
And then you
But huh?
share
I know
the trophy.
I'm like, yeah, okay. Or like, it's just little things. These are just my little, I never get to voice these little gripes. So when I have these interviews, I always say that. But other than that, it's been a ball. It's been great. And then last season in the field was even better because it's so inspirational to hear people's stories, and especially when their legacies, like, their fathers came here and they did it and they've been doing it, and they, watching how they keep a business alive for 50 years and blah, 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 things like that. And watching newcomers come in and just seeing what the scene is, and then putting their influence in there and changing the game. And so that was fun in the field too. But I really enjoy people, so I'm hoping to do more like that. Like I never thought that would be my area, but I guess naturally I never really wanted a pizzeria, so I guess it's just unfolding the way it's unfolding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I didn't know it would be like that. But yeah, it's been a ball, and you're gonna do great, and you're gonna find your sweet spot. You're gonna be in front of that camera. You're gonna let your hair down. You're gonna be like, "Hi, it's me, Marisol," and yeah, that's it. She's like, I don't know.
So start sweating when I get
I know.
nervous.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's you never get used to it, but you just always got to show up, right? Always got to show up, put your best foot forward, and just, you know, especially when the unknown, you know, it's like thrilling. It's like challenge yourself sometimes. Get your heart beating. Like,
Yes,
you know,
like I said, I'm always gonna remember my friend telling me like you have to do this because you don't know when, if all at all it's gonna happen to you again. So just take advantage of the opportunity. So I'm very grateful of every opportunity and
you
being
got to
able
ride
to.
the wave. You got to ride the
Yes,
wave.
yes,
That's always, we're
yes.
always surfing a wave, you know. Sometimes we crash on shore, but then that wave comes back. And when it comes, you got to jump on that board and ride it. You know what I mean? And that's that. And if you fall off, get back up. And just don't be too hard on yourself, you know? Like, as women, I think that that's why Women in Pizza is so important too, is that there's that woman aspect. And I mean, of course, men are hard on themselves too, but women are just differently hard on themselves, just different, that maybe some people may not understand, men won't understand, you know what I mean? Like, that we understand. And just don't be too hard on yourself. You know, just
Yeah,
take it easy. Take it easy and just follow your heart. That's it.
yeah, like yeah, we're our biggest critics, and we
Hardcore. I'm crazy.
yeah. And
I'm not.
it's like I talk myself out of things just because, you know, of the
Yeah.
uncertainty, and instead of pushing myself to get out of my comfort zone.
But that's the
I'm
thing.
working.
That's the thing that I love about this industry, and it's male dominated. And as a woman, what I love is I see these guys and they don't care. They 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 step up and show out. They don't care. And I'm sitting here like worried about every little daggone thing. You know what I mean? So if we as women can encourage each other to step up, but also just look at the men. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care how they look. They don't care about anything. They just, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So like, why do we care about every little daggone thing? I mean, integrity wise with things, of course, but I'm just saying we're just so hard on ourselves all the time for every little thing, you know? So just take it easy.
We'll try. We're gonna try. We're gonna
We're
keep
gonna do it.
working. We're gonna do it. We're gonna keep pumping those pizzas,
And then,
putting
you
those
know,
pizzas
if
out.
you want to do it'll be our little inside thing. Please do a video and just pop your collar for me one time. When you just do a video one day on it, even if you're making a pizza, just turn around and go like that. And I would be like,
I'll say this is for you.
I'm gonna be like, yes. Oh God. Well, it's been great, and thank you so much. And I'm so glad to have met you.
Thank you so much for all the advice and like just being generous with your knowledge. I really appreciate it, and
I,
I'm gonna take it all in and work hard over here. So thank you so
okay.
much, and
You're very welcome. Say that last part. I couldn't hear you.
I hope I get to meet you soon.
Oh no, we'll meet. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Bye, guys. Take care.